Hey guys, what is up? Pixels here. In today's video we're doing an ultimate looting guide for Evil Dead the game. I've got quite a few hours on this game now. Probably is about 10 days plus game time. It's pretty crazy, but I've spent a lot of time looking and learning about all the best looting spots in the game on both maps. So the first map we're going to look at is obviously the small map, Remington Rapids. This is the map that includes the cabin and the frying pan tunnel and all those areas like that. So before we begin, I just want to say, do not do what I'm doing in this video, by the way. Do not run around shooting things with a double barrel at the start of the game while you're looting. I'm mainly doing that because, you know, it's just to get rhythm out of the way. I was mainly playing against solo against the AI, so it didn't make a difference if I was doing that. But if you're new to the game and you're learning the ropes and, you know, learning how to play the game, don't run around shooting things like I'm doing at the start. I was mainly just, like I said, just doing that to get rid of the enemies. So let's begin it anyway. So let's start with the small map on the game. Okay, so I made like a little infographic here, like all the looting spots that you should go to, the ones that you should kind of avoid, what you can expect going to these areas. So we're going to start off with the green ones first. So the green ones I chose was Fishing Village. If I spawn near Fishing Village, I'll head there straight away because it's just got loads of crates and supplies. It has a lot of buildings, a lot of nice buildings that you can check out. You'll find loads of colas, you'll find loads of amulets, you'll find loads of ammo. Not only that, you'll find loads of decent weapons there as well. On top of maybe's about 5 crates, maybe's more can actually spawn in this area as well, which is really nice. So Fishing Village is one of the main areas I like to loot on this game. It can be pretty difficult going into this area because the demon will check this area out at the start of the game most of the time because it's one of the most popular spots on the map. But again, it's a really nice looting area. And from there, you know, there's different areas you can go to from Fishing Village. You know, they got the demonic treehouse that's obviously highlighted in red. That mainly only spawns crates. You won't get a lot of supplies from there at all. It only has one building, but sometimes it can actually spawn 3 crates there in total. I think in this clip I only found 1 crate there, but yeah, it's just one of those areas that you could check out if you want to get an extra crate. It's not that far away from Fishing Village. And from Demonic Treehouse, obviously we have Pain Manor. We'll get into Pain Manor in a bit, but anyways, the next primary looting spot that I love to loot on this game is Terminal Station. And the main thing about Terminal Station is the building. If you go in the building, it will have a shitload of supplies, and I mean an absolute shitload. You'll find loads of ammo, you'll find loads of coals, you'll find loads of amulets, all that good stuff to help you sustain yourself in the game and in combat and all that. Not only that, it also spawns a lot of crates too. The building can sometimes have 3 crates around it and inside of it. And then if you actually go out from the building and Terminal Station, you will be able to go in the actual like the train yard type of area where you will find loads of different crates and you'll find loads of ammo and again more supplies. So Terminal Station's a really nice place to loot on this map. Unfortunately it's right at the bottom, but you know, when we've been on the dark ones before, because the dark ones can actually spawn sort of in that area. What I will do is actually go out my way to go down to this place because I know I'm guaranteed to find loads of supplies. So if I feel like I've been playing the game, I haven't been able to find any colas or amulets or anything like that, I know fine well if I get in a car, I drive down here, do a quick trip, I will be able to find a lot of colas and a lot of shields. So again, be sure to check this area out if you are struggling to find supplies and obviously to gain some more pink fuck and some better weapons as well. So again, it's a really good area. The next area that I have highlighted in green is Frying Pan Tunnel. Again, I think this is probably one of the best looting spots on this map as well. If you go to one of the mouth of the tunnels, just see you start at the south side of the tunnel. That can spawn 2 crates just there. I think on this one I actually find a legendary crate there, which is nice. If you run further down into the tunnel, you'll get about midway and you will probably see another crate there as well, which is nice. And then if you go down to even further into the middle of the tunnel, that's where the vehicle spawn is. You'll have a room to your right if you're coming from the south side. If you go into that room, there will be, you know, potentially 2 crates in there as well. I don't think this time it actually spawned any crates, but again, you can find a lot of crates in there. Not only that, you can find a lot of colas. You can find some amulets, you can find some ammo as well, which is nice. And if you actually go to the opposite side of the tunnel after you've gone in that room, you can go into the cave. And the cave again will have some ammo, amulets and stuff. And if you go out of the mouth of the cave, you will probably find a supply crate there as well. There's a very high chance that a supply crate can spawn there, which is really nice. So from when you've done that, you can run back inside of the tunnel. You know, depend on if you have the demon on you or not. You can get in the vehicle to drive to the north side of the tunnel. Again, if you're at the north side of the tunnel at the entrance, again, it will spawn another crate there. So it's pretty crazy how many crates you can actually get at Frying Pan Tunnel. It's absolutely amazing. I said it's one of the best spots, looting spots on this map as well. And from there, we also have Misery Manor, so it's nice to see that we have like 2 areas right next to each other that are really good for loot. So if you go from Frying Pan Tunnel and Misery Manor only has like 3 buildings you can check out, but these 3 buildings will have a lot of crates and a lot of supplies as well. You know, most of the buildings will have 2 crates, maybe it's only 1 crate, but it will have, again, loads of colas, amulets, and ammo, which is all the stuff that you need to win the game. And again, you will find the pink F upgrades for your character as well. And be sure, whilst you're looting in these areas, be sure to tag these supply crates for your teammates as well. A lot of people forget to tag these supply crates, tag the better weapons as well. And primarily what you want to do is learn the best options to actually pick. You know, if you have, just say you had an Evil Dead 1 Ash on your team, they might want a hunting knife, so be sure to realize who you're playing with. You know, some characters have weapon masteries and stuff, so be sure to tag those weapons in case they don't have one. Like if you find a blue sword and you have a Lord Arthur on your team, be sure to tag that for him, because he will more than likely want that, because he only spawns with a common one. So those are the primary loot spots there. We have one more as well. We have Lucky Valley Lodge. Again, it's another amazing area. It only actually has like 2 primary houses you can check out. But these 2 houses usually have like 2 crates each on them, which is pretty insane. Sometimes it can actually have 3 on them. And again, loads of supplies in that area too, which is really, really awesome. So let's go over the yellow ones. So the yellow ones will have, you know, a few crates and supplies there. So the Nobi cabin can sometimes have like 2 or 3 crates. Again, it's a decent area. It has a little bit of supplies there. Greenwich Village, again, it's not really my favorable spot. Greenwich Village does sometimes have, you know, decent amounts of supplies, but it kind of lacks in the crates, in my opinion. So I mean, the good thing about Greenwich Village is it's between 2 areas that do, well, 3 areas really that spawn quite a decent amount of crates. But again, it's not really a really beneficial area on the map to find loads of stuff. And of course we have Pain Manor, which is also highlighted in yellow. Pain Manor, again, it can only spawn like between 1 or like 3 crates. It doesn't spawn that many crates, unfortunately. But again, you will find a lot of supplies in this area. You will find quite a few colas, quite a few amulets, and some ammo as well, which is nice to see. And now we're going to get into the red areas. These are just areas that mainly spawn crates. So Flight 666, again, it's next to Greenwich Village, which obviously doesn't have a lot of crates itself, but Flight 666 can sometimes have like 3 crates on it, which is great. It doesn't have any supplies as far as I'm aware. I've looked around. Sometimes you may find like the odd ammo box or something, but again, you won't really find much stuff in that area. And it's quite a dangerous area as well at the start of the game, because usually it will spawn quite a lot of like basic deadites at the start of the game that will like aggro on you, and there's about 6 to 8 of them that will attack you, and it's quite difficult to deal with that, so especially early on in the game. So yeah, again, be wary of that area. Again, it only really spawns a lot of crates. Cell Tower, again, it can spawn like 1 to 2 crates. It's nothing amazing. It doesn't really spawn much in terms of supplies either. Bronson Cave is the same. Bronson Cave, you can get like 1 crate in there, sometimes 2 crates, but again, you won't find many supplies there. Circus Cages, I don't really like to loot this area. It only really has 1 building you can check out, and that 1 building may have 1 crate, and it doesn't really have much supplies in that either. Again, we've already been over Demonic Treehouse because it was next to Fishing Village. Demonic Treehouse will have a couple of crates there sometimes. Bluff Road Bridge pretty much has a guaranteed crate spawn. Every time I've drove over that, there's always been 1 crate there, so you know, if you go and buy Bluff Road Bridge, just be sure to go check it out if you want to get a crate, maybe potentially get a better weapon. It'll always be there. So the next one as well is Savage Treatment Plant, and Savage Treatment Plant again is just a crate spawning area. You can get like 1 to 4 crates in that area. It varies quite a lot with RNG on that area. And the last one that we're going to discuss is Derelict Doll Factory. Again, it's not, you don't get any thing in terms of supplies, but it is a great crate spawning area. So on this small map, like I said, the primary ones that you want to check out is Frying Pan Tunnel. Terminal Station is probably the best place to loot on this map. Honestly, it's absolutely insane how much stuff is down there. Fishing Village is decent. and Lucky Valley Lodge and Misery Manor. Those are the main 5 that you guys want to check out and head to at the start of the game, because once you come out of those areas, you more than likely will get a lot of loot and be able to deal with the demon and stuff a lot better as well. So yeah, let's just talk about some loot and runs that you can do on this game from on the small map. And anyways, so on the small map, if you do spawn near the south side of the area of the map, sorry, mainly you will spawn at Pain Manor. I think that's one of the primary spawns on this game. What I do is I'll loot Pain Manor, and then I'll head south to Terminal Station. And from Terminal Station, I'll hit up Derelict Doll Factory, hit up the bridge, and then go to Savage Treatment Plant. And from Savage Treatment Plant, there is a little cave that you can head into that heads into the Frying Pan Tunnel as well, and you can check out the Frying Pan Tunnel. And from Frying Pan Tunnel, you can head to Misery Manor, and doing all those areas there, once you come out with the south side of Misery Manor, you can head to the cabin, and then that way you've basically done like a whole loot and run. It doesn't take that long to do either. It probably take you about 10 minutes, depending on if you've got the demon on you, depending on how many people you've got with you as well, and all that stuff. So like I said, doing that little loot and run's really not that bad either. If you've spawned on the west side of the map, I head straight to Fishing Village. I check out all the Fishing Village, try and get as much loot as I can. And from there, I like to go to Demonic Treehouse, and then I'll head north, going to like Circus Cages, Lucky Valley Lodge as well, and then the Bronson Cave. Those are like the main loot runs that I like to do on this map as well. If I end up spawning at the north side of the map, again, this is what I do. If I go from the north side, I head down to Misery Manor, then go to the Frying Pan Tunnel. And, you know, you guys can kind of figure out from there what I'm trying to suggest here. Like, pretty much hitting up the primary looting spots as fast as you can at the start of the game is really going to help you out to win the game. So, the next thing we're going to do is move on to the big map, and then we're going to discuss all the areas that you should avoid on that map, and all the best areas you should be heading to for the loot. Okay, so we're looking at the big map here, and I've actually got some highlighted in places to avoid compared to the small map, because the small map doesn't really have places to avoid, but this map does. It's these corner pieces that the corner pieces of the map that you should really avoid. But anyways, let's just discuss the areas that you should like be looking at to loot at the start of the game. So if you spawn at the south side of the map, Fearsome Farm's really good to check out. It has loads of crates, it has loads of supplies. Like I said, it's one of the best places to loot on this map. You can come out of there with like 4 crates, you can come out there with really good weapons, loads of ammo, and loads of colas and amulets as well. It's a really nice looting spot. And from Fearsome Farm, you know, you can hit up all these different areas highlighted in yellow here that you can check out as well. But we're going to discuss about the other primary looting areas. So Mama's Liquors, again, is a really nice looting spot. The game can be a bit of a bitch sometimes. It will spawn you out in hidden acres and basically in the middle of nowhere. You know, if you do a quick check of your map, if you see Mama's Liquors is really next, if you're right next to it, or if you're near it, go ahead there straight away. I promise you'll find loads of good stuff to start the game off with as well. And the main looting spot on this map is Dead End. A lot of people will head to Dead End because it has 5 houses, and it actually has a lot of loot there as well. And not only crates, but it also has loads of supplies as well. So I like to do I spend quite a lot of time at Dead End. I make sure I pick everything up that I want. All the ammo, all the colas, all the amulets. You will find obviously quite a lot of enemies here, and sometimes the demon will head to this area at the start of the game as well, because it's a very popular spot on this map. But it is a very nice primary looting spot. Like I said, you can come out of this. Sometimes you've found like, you know, 2 to 6 crates out of this. It's a decent area. But yeah, Dead End's really nice. Harry's Houses again is a very nice primary looting spot to check out. Has loads of houses, loads of buildings, and actually outside of the houses you can find crates as well. Not only will there be crates in the houses, but again it will spawn in like these little outhouses and stuff that you will find around Harry's Houses as well. And not only that, like I said, it'll have loads of supplies inside the houses that you can check out. And it doesn't take that much long. It doesn't take long to loot in Harry's Houses at all. Like I said, you've got about 6-7 buildings you can check out. And again, like you come out of Harry's Houses, you will find a decent amount of stuff. And the next primary looting spot is Jake's Gas and Go. This is probably like one of my favorite areas on this map because I just love the design of it. The houses look great, and the gas station itself has a really nice design. But if you go in the houses, sometimes the houses won't spawn supply crates, but that usually means the station will spawn supply crates. But you do get quite a lot of crates and supplies in Jake's Gas and Go as well. So it's one of those areas again that you want to check out. And obviously the north side of this map, as you can tell, actually has quite decent areas that you can run in like a in like a sort of like a circle that you can loot. So there's like 6 areas you can loot in like a circle, and you will find quite a lot of pink fuck and a lot of upgrades and all that supplies and good stuff like that. So we're gonna get into the yellow ones in anyways. So we'll start at the top. We've got Clara's Pond. In the beta, Clara's Pond used to be a very prioritized spawning spot for the survivors, and I used to spawn next to that all the time. I barely spawn next to it now in the actual game, but it still actually has quite a lot of crates and supplies that you can check out. It's a nice little area that you can get some decent supplies from. South of that we have Shockley's Auto. Only has a couple of buildings, but these couple of buildings will again have a lot of supplies and a decent amount of crates that you guys can open up. We're going to go to the right side now, to the east side, which is Fire Tower. I'm not a huge fan of the tower areas on this map. Sometimes they can be very hit and miss. It's just like, sometimes you go there, you won't find many crates, but you'll find a decent amount of supplies. It's the same with Radio Tower. If you loot those two together, you will probably come out with about 3 crates, something like that, and you'll come out with some decent supplies as well. So again, they're nothing amazing, but they're somewhat decent to check out. And a bit south from that we have Railway Loop. Again, it's just one of those areas that's very hit and miss. You maybe will find a few crates, but again, you will also find a lot of supplies there, which is pretty decent. El Brewer's Hut is mainly a few crates. It doesn't have many buildings you can actually check out, but it's kind of just like a mediocre area that you can, potentially loot on the way to getting the map piece or something like that. And the next one I've highlighted is Fairview Campground and Camp Greenbird. I just put a big circle around these because they're so close together. It actually looks like it's, got loads of buildings and stuff you can check out, but really there's not a lot to check out there. You will get a few crates and, like I said, a few supplies there, but it's just one of those areas. If you spawn right next to it, you probably just want to head there and just loot it real quick, and then head to one of the prioritized looting areas if you can do that, which will greatly help you out. So let's look at the 2 that I have highlighted in red. Royal Oak Cemetery. It does spawn a little bit of supplies, but nothing massive, and sometimes it won't even spawn crates. But it's just one of those areas that you can check out between Dead End and Harry's Houses. If you head north from Dead End, you can check out the Royal Oak Cemetery. Sometimes it will have 2 crates, sometimes it will have no crates at all, But again, it's a somewhat decent area you can quickly loot, and it will have, a little bit of supplies as well, which is alright. But again, it's not really a prioritized area that you should run over and loot at all. Misty Groves. This area became a bit of a meme around the community because of how empty it seems, but actually I've come out of Misty Groves with finding about 6 crates. I don't recommend that you actually head in this direction to go and loot in that area unless you need to find the map piece. For the sake of this video, I went in there with Evil Dead 2 Ash to see how many crates I could find. I think I found about 5 or something like that. But yeah, you will find quite a lot of crates in Misty Groves, but nothing else really. You won't find any supplies. It's very lackluster in terms of supplies, and you kind of waste a lot of time looting this area unless you want to try and find a better weapon. You could spend about 10 minutes in this area just running around looking for crates if you're not playing Evil Dead 2 Ash, especially not having the stamina to run around as well. And then it doesn't really have a great escape route either. If you do get stuck in there against the demon, you can be quite stranded in there, and it'd be a bit of a maze, Alright, so those 2 areas just primary spawn crates, and the last ones that I want to just go over is the ones to avoid. And I'll explain why you should avoid them. So Wadesboro Junkyard is just absolutely terrible. Every time I go over there, maybe find 1 crate, I'll find no supplies. It's just an awful area to loot. If you're lucky, sometimes maybe a legendary crate will spawn there. Very, very lucky though. It's very RNG based, that area. I hate looting it, and I really don't like to head in that area at all. I mainly head straight to Jake's Gas and Go if I spawn near that area anyways, so I tend to avoid Wadesboro Junkyard. The next one is the Bullard Swamp. Again, it really only has like 1 decent building you can loot. It's a waste of time really heading to this area to loot that as well. And again, with Hidden Acres has one building to loot. It has no vehicles next to it either, so you can get quite stranded out there as well. But you know, if you spawn in near these areas to avoid, there's better areas that you should be running to at the start of the game and be able to loot those a lot better as well. So let's discuss a few loot and runs that you can do on this map as well. So the primary one, of course, is if you spawn near GX Gas and Go, or if you spawn near Dead End. You know, like I'll hit up GX Gas and Go, I'll hit a Dead End, I'll hit a Royal Oak Cemetery, Harry's Houses, Clara's Pond, and then Shockley's Auto. The two that I do like to loot together is GX Gas and Go and Shockley's Auto, because sometimes when I loot those two, I've got enough to actually just win the game from there. But yeah, like I said, doing that little loot circle there that you can with those six areas is really, really nice. The next ones that I do like to do a loot run with is Phasian Farm, El Brewer's Hut, and then Railway Loop's a pretty decent one. The sad thing is about Mama's Liquors is it's quite out of the way. You've got to, you know, spend a lot of time getting over there, but what you can do is actually, you know, go to Mama's Liquors, go to El Brewer's Hut, and then Railway Loop. Again, those three areas are good for doing a little loot and run. And again, if you want to do another loot and run, you can do Fire Tower, then Radio Tower. But this map is a lot bigger than the other map. It's a bit harder to do loot and runs on. Like I said, the main focus usually is at the north side with Harry's Houses, Dead End, and GX Gas and Go, and looting all the areas around that as well. So, okay, so just to continue our looting guide here, we're going to go over the weapons that you should be picking up whilst you're looting throughout the game. And, you know, depending on the different rarities and stuff, I'm going to tell you what you should be picking up as well. So I've got them highlighted here in green, the ones that you should be picking up. I know the infographic that I've done is kind of a bit all over the place, but it's kind of the best I could do in the time that I had, because I kind of drew some of these images from a tier list, tier lists and stuff, and they actually didn't have some of the weapons, so I've actually manually go into the game and cut them out for myself and put them into this. So yeah, again, apologies for how it looks, but this is sort of the best way I can describe the weapons for you. So the ones highlighted in green are the ones that you should be looking out for. We'll go over those, of course, is the chainsaw. So be wary of the chainsaw. You can't pick that up with any other character other than the 3 Ashes on the game. You can't pick it up with Support Ash, but you can pick it up with Leader Ash, Hunter Ash, and Warrior Ash. So those are the 3 you can pick the chainsaw up with. It's an awesome weapon. I really like it. A lot of the time though, you know, if I'm playing Ash and I do find a lumberjack axe and it is at least a blue, I will swap from my common chainsaw to the blue lumberjack axe, just because it is a lot better as well. So the lumberjack axe is the primary weapon for everyone that they should be looking out for. Honestly, it is absolutely insane. You know, if you have a team with like 4 lumberjack axes, then it's probably game over for the demon. But yeah, this weapon's absolutely insane. It does a lot of damage. It doesn't do a lot of balance bar damage, but it does a lot of dismemberment damage as well, making it a bit easier to actually kill the deadites a lot faster without even having to do a finisher as well. Like, you can actually cut their heads off, and it can dismember their limbs and remove their weapons as well, which is why this weapon is really good. The next one is the sword. The sword, again, is a really handy weapon to have, especially early game. If you find a sword, be sure to pick that up. I don't really like the speed. I know the speed's sort of similar to a chainsaw on a lumberjack axe, but yeah, the fighting with the sword's a bit weird sometimes, and I don't particularly like it over the other two, but it is still an amazing weapon that you should be picking up. The next one is the nailed bat, or the spiked bat, whatever you want to call it. Again, is a decent weapon. Does great damage, does quite a lot of balance bar damage as well. I really like it. I think it's a good weapon. The sledgehammer again is pretty good for doing animations or finishes. It doesn't do as much damage as the other 3 that we've mentioned, the lumberjack axe or the sword, but it does have quite a lot of balance bar damage, which helps you do the finishes a lot faster as well. But personally, I still prefer the lumberjack axe over this. Again, it's personal preference if you like to pick that up or not. But yeah, those are the main ones that you should look out for. And the last one is the shovel. Ignore the stats on the shovel that you can see here, because this is actually a rare one and it's not a common one. But yeah, the rare shovel is actually really good. A blue shovel, a purple one, and a legendary will, you know, just absolutely destroy deadites as well. So yeah, those 6 weapons, I would say to prioritize picking up. Like, it doesn't even matter who you're really playing. You know, even if I'm playing if I'm playing Kelly, who's spec around the meat hammer, a lot of the time I'll just pick up a lumberjack accent anyway, because it'll do a lot better damage and stuff. Just have a bit slower attack speed and all that, but again, like I said, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. Picking out of these 6 weapons once you're looting around the place is good. So the yellow weapons, again, these are the ones that you should pick up, that if you can't find any of the other 6. You know, the pickaxe, the hunting knife is a priority on Evil Dead 1 Ash because it gives him faster attack speed, which also helps him heal a lot faster with his heavy attacks. So if you're playing Evil Dead 1 Ash, be sure to pick up the hunting knife there. The machete is okay. It's nothing amazing. It's just like a middle ground weapon. And it's the same with the pickaxe. The pickaxe is alright. It has 3 attack speed and does quite a bit of damage as well, which I kind of like. It's kind of a fun weapon to use. The weapons I tend to avoid are the hand axe, the meat hammer, the spear, and the meat cleaver. I don't really pick these up. I don't really recommend that you guys pick them up either, unless you obviously have a personal preference of when you're looting. But like I said, I really don't enjoy picking up these weapons, and I don't tend to use them at all. So we'll move on to the ranged weapons now. We were just covering the melee weapons there. So the ranged weapons is the boomstick. Always pick up a boomstick, or at least tag one for your team, because it is like the most high damage weapon in the game per shot. So basically with a boomstick, you know, you get 2 shots with it. It reloads pretty fast as well. The attack speed can be quite slow with it, unfortunately, but for ammo's sake, and you know, the game doesn't really supply you with a lot of ammo sometimes, so using the boomstick, it saves you quite a lot of ammo, and it packs a punch doing that as well. The hunting rifle is currently bugged at blue rarity, because that means it's like, you know, it does quite a lot of balance bar damage, and that's really bugged right now, and that shouldn't be happening. But the hunting rifle is also a really good ranged weapon that you should pick up. Again, does quite a lot of damage, and it also has a great range on it as well. And I have my highest damage game with the hunting rifle, which is really good. The double barrel, I'm not really a huge fan of the double barrel, but again, it's one of those weapons that you should pick up at the start of the game. It will help you collect ammo a lot faster. And the revolver for me is the best handgun in the game. It is honestly just amazing. Hitting headshots with this thing does quite a lot of damage as well, and you won't burn through your ammo fast with this either. So in the yellow, we have a pistol and we have a shotgun. The standard 9mm pistol, I'm not really a huge fan of. You burn through your ammo quite a lot. It doesn't nearly do enough damage, in my opinion. Even on Amanda, I wouldn't recommend using a pistol on her, even though it's her weapon of choice. She has a weapon mastery for that. I still wouldn't recommend actually using a pistol on her, and I'll get into that in a minute. The shotgun, again, is it's sort of decent. It sort of has a slower attack speed for me. I know it has like a fire rate of 1.2, but it still just feels really slow. You can hit a good amount of deadites with this, though. You can take quite a few down, but again, it's one of those weapons that you'll sort of burn through your ammo. But yeah, moving on to the red one. So lever action rifle, I really don't pick this up at all. I think it's just one of those weapons, again, that you'll burn through your ammo too quick. You won't do enough damage with it, and you'll be reloading a lot of the time. So I tend to leave out the lever action rifle quite a lot. The sword gun's okay, but again, to me, it needs probably buffed up a little bit to be more viable than the other ranged weapons, so I tend to avoid it quite a lot. The crossbow, I'm very iffy with the crossbow. It has a very weird hit detection right now. I don't know if it's just the time to impact on the characters or not, but I'm not a fan of the crossbow at all. I've stated this in numerous videos. I hate using the crossbow. People have told me how good it is and stuff. I'm still like, nah, honestly, I can't get away with a crossbow and using that at all. And last but not least, I mean, I suppose it is least, but the blunderbuss. Of course, the blunderbuss has a high damage. It only has 1 shot, unfortunately. Unless you're playing a hunter, this weapon is useless. But I wouldn't say useless, but you know what I mean. It's kind of terrible compared to the boomstick if you're playing any other character other than basically Amanda. If you're playing Amanda with this weapon and you use her ability ammo for days, and you have the last round in the gun doing more damage, then it's actually really beneficial. But honestly, it's one of those weapons again that I tend to just ignore. So just focus on picking up the green weapons most of the time. A lumberjack axe and a boomstick will win you the game, honestly. Pairing them two together can be really helpful. And of course, if you don't want to do range, then of course you can just stick to melee, and like I said, using the lumberjack axe will do you great justice on this game. So Yeah, this was my weapons guide just to add into this video. Yeah, this has been my ultimate looting guide for Evil Dead the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions on good looting areas on the map as well, feel free to leave a comment down below and to inform everyone else who's starting out on the game. Like I said, the game's been out about a month now. Obviously, people are still going to be flooding in to the game and still, you know, checking it out for themselves for the very first time. So learning this early on is going to be very beneficial for those types of people. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, hit that sub button. If you do like Evil Dead content, I'm going to be doing a lot more Evil Dead content as well on this channel. I mainly cover this game. I do check out a few horror games here and there, but this is my main game. I love Evil Dead. I spend so much time on this game trying to develop it and make a decent community around it as well, which I think is a very, very high priority for me right now. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you found this video informative, guys. If you have any questions about it, leave me a comment down below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new to the channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Pixels, you've been my awesome viewers, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.